Hello and welcome to the December 1st, 2024 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick, brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, I'm finally putting money into this pet project of mine. We're on every Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay. We are simulcasting on Facebook and YouTube. Yay! This is a program dedicated to bringing good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back into the world. Many of our articles are pulled from sites like goodnewsnetwork.org or goodgoodgood.co, but we do appreciate all of the articles that are sent in by you, the viewers. And that is what tonight's episode is. Tonight's episode is a little different. It is going to be another cool news episode. Many of the articles that are sent in by you, the viewers, are crazy, and we appreciate every article. But some of them don't quite make the grade as good news. However, that doesn't mean that it isn't cool news. So we are going to present a night of cool news here as we get into the last month of 2024. All of these are going to be abridged. We have 16 articles to go through, 16 articles of cool news, so producer Donna has been so kind to make abridged versions, and that's what we're going to present just because of the sheer volume. However, all the links for the articles will be available in the descriptions of the YouTube and the Facebook videos in case you want to read them for yourself. Whew, it's a mouthful of an opener. Hello, Caucasian Sasquatch in the YouTube chat. News brew for tonight. Because we have 16 articles to get through in an abridged format, we need a big brew to go with a big episode. So I have picked up a bottle of Perrin Reserve 2022. I was informed by the person that I bought this bottle from that it was 2024. However, upon closer inspection, I have seen it is 2022. And it's entirely possible that for a Nick's News episode in January of 2023, we did this beer. So, it might be a revisit, but it's a revisit that I'm looking forward to because this is Perrin Reserve 2022. It is a triple mash stout. It is 13.3% ABV, high octane beer, a triple mash Russian Imperial Stout that was brewed. It was barreled in Traverse City whiskey barrels, and then it was brewed with honey, caramelized lactose sugar, and it was aged on a bed of golden raisins. There is some insanity in these bottles, and I am looking forward to it. Hello, Mona, in the YouTube chat. So, because we have an extra tall bottle, a full pint of beer, we have the Balisong bottle opener. Lilith in the Facebook chat, triple dog dare you to chug it all right now. The triple dog dare. I will take the punishment for not doing a triple dog dare, because I'm not going to chug this. We are going to sip this, and we are going to use, of course, my very facetious Harpoon Limited Edition snifter. We're going to get into the theatrics of a 5-minute pour. Bum, bum, bum. Wah, wah. Oh, it's big. It's boozy. The raisins stand out probably the most out of everything. Lilith, I will accept being called a coward. Mona in the YouTube chat, it is. I've had this, like I said before, I've had this beer before. I've loved every Perrin Reserve beer that has come out, so this one should be good for everything we've got to go through tonight. That wasn't even a minute of pouring. In the future, maybe I'll say the theatrics of a 1-minute pour, and I'll try to hit that mark. I don't know. Shoutouts. Do you want some fine wine or cider? Fox and Hen Winery is located between Grand Haven and Allendale, Michigan. They specialize in small batch wines and ciders that reflect the Lake Michigan climate. You can check them out Fridays and Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Their last day of the season is going to be December 7th. So be sure to head over if you haven't yet and you really want to. I will be there on December 7th. I'll be there for most of the day. I've got something going on at night, but I'll be there for most of the day. So if you want to have a glass of wine or cider with me, by all means, swing by and let's see Fox and Hen out for the season with a bash, just celebrating their full year. Cheers to Fox and Hen. Oh. Oh my gosh. I have missed this beer. Hello, Rebecca, in the Facebook chat. Thank you for sharing our stream. I do appreciate it. Oh, this beer is delectable. Our news quote, we got one more shout out. My friend Matt is going to be undergoing gastric sleeve surgery tomorrow, the 2nd of December. And I want to wish Matt good luck with the surgery and the best, wishing you the best, good sir, and a speedy recovery. So to you, Matt, for your surgery and for everything you've done to get to this point, cheers. And when you are healed and able to do so, we will have a beer together. Good sir. It wipes that pumpkin beer out of my mouth. This is such a better beer to start a month off with than that pumpkin beer. All right, news quote. I like this one. For a moment, I thought we'd done it before, but apparently we haven't. So, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. And that is from Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill, who was a British statesman, a military officer, a writer, and Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1940 to 1945, and from 1951 to 1955. So again, a really good one. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. So just a big thing there. Just giving is what is going to make life living. So to Sir Winston Churchill, cheers, sir. Lilith saying, I don't think you can have beer after that surgery. Interesting. I would hope that isn't the case. But I guess we'll see. We'll have to ask Matt about that. Bug news. The bugs are well. I managed to move Elmira's entire vivarium over enough to see that she is napping. And she appears healthy in her winter burrow. It's at the very bottom of the vivarium. So luckily I can scoot it out far enough that I can get a look at it. So she's looking good. Sue is a menace to society. He is an absolute terror, and he lets me know that in his own way. He has a new trick where he will walk up to the tank and he will bang on it with his claws. I don't appreciate it all that much, but, to each their own. Ripley click-clacks along in horrific ways, but they're far less terrible than Sue, so I don't think they're doing it on purpose. It was indeed a good bug week. Okay, so we have 16 articles, abridged versions. These are just going to be blurbs, funny little blurbs of each. And we're going to get through these as best we can with the beer we've got. So, here we go. Our broadcast is broken up into 4 categories, and we are going to have all 4 cool categories tonight. We're going to have cool science and technology, cool health and medicine, cool flora and fauna, aka cool plants and animals, and cool wholesome notes that we're going to end on, those really nice articles that make us feel good. So we're going to start with Article 1 in Category 1, Cool Science and Technology. And just like Donna said in the chats, the links are posted as usual, so you can read the full articles. I'm not going to go and be posting them like I normally do, because again, we're not reading the full articles, we're just doing some abridged versions, because these articles are so dense and have a lot to them. So here we go. I call this first one, Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Gonna Let You Down, and it is, of course, some Voyager news. For the Voyager 1 article, it was from Space. Both of these are from space.com. The Voyager 1 article was posted by Keith Cooper on November 29th of 2024, and the Voyager 2 article was posted by Robert Lee on October 2nd of 2024. So here we go. NASA has confirmed that one of its greatest ever missions, Voyager 1, is back in business with communications restored following an incident in October that had led the veteran spacefarer to losing its voice. Now 47 years old, Voyager 1 is 15.4 billion miles, or 24.9 billion kilometers for folks that didn't land anything on the moon of importance, from Earth. With the power supply from its decaying plutonium dwindling, only 4 of its instruments remain operational. When engineers commanded Voyager 1 to switch on one of its heaters to give the instruments a gentle thermal massage, a safety feature was tripped because of low power levels. NASA engineers were able to resolve the problem early in November, and X-band communication was resumed on November 18th. With the spacecraft once again returning data from its 4 remaining instruments. So Voyager 1 is back on track and back to life, talking like it normally does. To the engineers at NASA and Jet Propulsion Laboratories for figuring that out and getting Voyager 1 going, cheers. And for Voyager 2, NASA engineers have turned off one of Voyager 2's science instruments. Voyager 2 launched into space on August 20th of 1977 and left the solar system on November 5th of 2018. It is currently 12.8 billion miles from Earth and is using 4 science instruments to study space beyond the heliosphere, the sun's bubble of influence around the solar system. NASA thinks that Voyager 2 has enough power to keep running one science instrument into the 2030s, but doing that requires selecting which of its other instruments need to be turned off. Mission specialists have tried to delay the instrument shutdown until now because Voyager 2 and Voyager 1 are the only 2 active probes in humanity's history that have ever reached interstellar space, making any data they gather unique. Thus far, 6 of the spacecraft's initial 10 instruments have been deactivated. Now, losing the 7th has become unavoidable, and on September 26th, engineers gave the command to turn off one of the spacecraft's plasma science instruments. The usefulness of the plasma science instrument was limited after leaving the heliosphere. This influenced the decision to switch the plasma instrument off to conserve power rather than deactivating one of Voyager 2's other instruments. Why is this cool news? It's because turning off this instrument has bought the other 3 potentially another 5 years of life. Voyager 2, by consolidating power, is going to be able to extend its mission further and further, and should be running into the 2030s. So to NASA and JPL for working out how to keep Voyager 2 going even further. Cheers. This next one is a bit of a meme from 15 years ago, but it checks out. It's an old meme, but it checks out. I called this one, y'all remember the hamster dance? And once we get into the article, you'll understand why I called it that. This was posted in Live Science by Harry Baker on November 21st of 2024. Actual title for this article was, Students' homemade rocket soars faster and farther into space than any other amateur spacecraft, smashing 20-year records. A group of U.S. students has smashed a series of world records after launching a homemade rocket farther and faster into space than any other amateur rocket. The student-made missile soared 90,000 feet beyond the previous record holder, a rocket launched more than 20 years ago. The record-breaking rocket, named Aftershock 2, was designed and built by students at the University of Southern California's USC Rocket Propulsion Lab, the RPL, a group run entirely by undergraduate students. The students launched Aftershock 2 on October 20th from a site in Black Rock Desert, Nevada. The rocket stood about 14 feet tall and weighed 330 pounds. The rocket broke the sound barrier just 2 seconds after liftoff and reached its maximum speed of around 3,600 miles per hour, which is 5.5 times the speed of sound, or technically hypersonic, roughly 19 seconds after the launch. The rocket's engine then burned out, but the craft continued to climb as atmospheric resistance decreased, enabling it to leave Earth's atmosphere 85 seconds after launch. That's right, a group of students launched a rocket out of Earth's atmosphere completely. Aftershock 2 reached its highest elevation, 470,000 feet above Earth's surface 92 seconds later, which is further into space than any non-governmental and non-commercial group has ever flown before, USC representatives wrote in a statement. At this point, the nose cone separated from the rest of the rocket and deployed a parachute so it could safely re-enter the atmosphere and touch down in the desert, where it was collected by the RPL team for analysis. But elevation and speed were not the only records Aftershock 2 broke. Aftershock 2 is distinguished by the most powerful solid propellant motor ever fired by students, and the most powerful composite case motor made by amateurs. The team also designed a new control unit for the rocket, known as High Altitude Module for Sensing, Telemetry, and Electronic Recovery. High Altitude Module for Sensing, Telemetry, and Electronic Recovery, aka Hamster, which tracked the rocket's flight and deployed its parachute. To all of the students at USC Rocket Propulsion Lab, RPL, for launching a rocket that broke a 20-year record and several others. Cheers. Oh. Uh-oh. Did I just do that? Wait, what did I just do? I clicked something. Are we still up? Are we still up and running? Looks like we're still up and running. What did I accidentally click? Huh. I thought I killed something for a moment. Not quite sure what happened there. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Double check OBS. YouTube looks good. Yep, Mona's saying we're running on YouTube. Way to go, RPL team. Hamster to space. Over here, having clicked a random button and closed the page, just me. It's looking like everything's going fine. All right, we'll keep rolling. Where's the... Nope, wrong article. There it is. Let me move that over. Let's see. Third article. I called this one, One Way or Another, Man Finds a Way to Drink. Actual title of the article, New Brew Recycled Water Beer. This was posted on goodgoodgood.co on, by Megan Cook on November 22nd of 2024. With limited land to store and collect water, Singapore is one of the most water-stressed countries in the world. As water scarcity became a mounting concern for the country in the 1990s, Singapore's National Water Agency took a three-pronged approach to the issue. Collect every drop of rainwater, desalinate seawater, and reclaim used water as much as possible. The last approach yielded new water, high-grade reclaimed water produced from treated wastewater. Today, that same water is being used to make a craft beer called New Brew. I kind of want to try it. Brewworks, the Singaporean brewery behind New Brew, turned quite a few heads when they handed out free cans at the 2024 United Nations Climate Change Conference in Baku, Azerbaijan this past week. Ong Zi-Chin, the chief executive of the Public Utilities Board, said New Brew was developed by Brewworks in 2018 to showcase the country's treated wastewater during the International Water Week. In 2022, they produced another line, and they've continued producing it every year since. Since the craft beer's debut, the production of sustainable beer from recycled wastewater has grown in popularity, from San Francisco's epic One Water Brew to the Czech Republic's Urko beer. I kind of want to try that. To Brewworks and to several other agencies and breweries that are making beer with recycled water. Cheers. Ooh. Oh my gosh, this beer. I think I see what happened earlier. There we go. All right, what do we got next? Called this next one Zerg Rush. NASA tests cell phone-sized underwater robots for potential ocean world missions. This was posted to space.com by Sharmila Kuthanur on November 24th of 2024. The swim robots, short for Sensing with Independent Microswimmers, demonstrated impressive maneuverability during recent tests in the swimming pool at the California Institute of Technology, Caltech. Pushed along by propellers, the miniature wedge-shaped robots steered themselves to stay on course. The latest prototypes are 3D printed plastics put together using inexpensive, commercially made motors and electronics. These robotic swimmers would eventually also be equipped with wireless underwater communication systems to transmit data and triangulate their positions while exploring the oceans of distant icy moons. Donna in the Facebook chat, so much cool stuff from NASA. Lots of cool NASA news on the horizon. The robot that used the pool test was about 16.5 inches long. The team hopes to eventually bring it down to about 5 inches long, so making it like a microbot, no bigger than a cell phone. Engineers are meanwhile testing swim robots in computer simulations that replicate the pressure and gravity the robots would encounter on the moon to optimize the robot's design and honing their abilities to collect science data in unknown terrains. Micro swimmers like nanobots, asks Rebecca in the Facebook chat. They're a little bigger than what I would consider like a nanobot, but 5 inches is still pretty small for a robot, so that's slick. One key innovation created for the robotic swarm is a tiny multi-sensor chip developed by engineers at Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, capable of measuring temperature, pressure, acidity, conductivity, and chemical composition. It will be years before the bots can wade through Europa's hidden ocean, which scientists suspect harbors twice as much liquid water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Thanks to this vast subsurface ocean, Europa is considered one of the most promising places in our solar system to search for alien life. The moon was extensively studied by NASA's Galileo mission in the 1990s, which provided compelling evidence of the moon's hidden ocean. The next robotic mission to study Europa, the Europa Clipper, is en route for a 4-year investigation of the moon's potential to support some form of alien life. To all of these folks working on the swim robots, especially those at the Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, cheers. Keep on swimming. Donna in the Facebook chat teasing what we have coming up. Last article for the cool science and technology I called Dragonfly in the Sky, Buzzing to Saturn, oh my! It's not in a book, but man, I loved reading Rainbow. All right. NASA's nuclear-powered Dragonfly helicopter will ride a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket towards Saturn's moon, Titan. This was posted to space.com by Mike Wall on November 25th of 2024. The agency NASA announced that it has picked SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket to loft Dragonfly, a $3.35 billion mission that will investigate the life-hosting potential of Saturn's huge moon, Titan. If all goes according to plan, Falcon Heavy will launch the car-sized Dragonfly rotocraft during a 3-week window in July of 2028. The spacecraft will then spend 6 years making its way to Titan, the second largest moon in the solar system. Titan's size isn't its only intriguing characteristic. The frigid satellite hosts seas and lakes of hydrocarbons, making it the only body beyond Earth known to host stable liquids on its surface. Producer Donna saying, yes, you heard that nuclear-powered helicopter. And Rebecca, now I have that song stuck in my head. Good, I have succeeded. Let's see. In addition, organic compounds, the carbon-containing building blocks of life as we know it, are common on the world. Some scientists therefore think Titan may be capable of supporting life, perhaps on its surface or in its suspected subterranean ocean of liquid water. Dragonfly is designed to investigate this question and to shed light on a little-studied world more generally. The nuclear-powered rotocraft will operate for about 2.5 Earth years on Titan's surface, flirting from place to place to get an in-depth look at a variety of landscapes. To everybody at NASA involved with the Dragonfly nuclear-powered rotocraft and its eventual landing on Titan, where it should teach us more about our solar system, cheers. Producer Donna, Falcon Heavy sounds like a mech from Pacific Rim, and she's not wrong. Okay. Ooh. We lost Facebook chat. Or not Facebook chat. We lost YouTube chat, but we're back online. All right. So that's going to get us out of cool science and technology. We're going to move on to category 2, cool health and medicine. We called this first one, sorry, Ozzy, no more shot in the dark. Diabetes breakthrough. New treatment eliminates insulin for 86% of patients. This was posted to SciTech Daily by the United European Gastroenterology Department on October 17th of 2024. Lily saying, oops, I accidentally scrolled. And Mona in the YouTube chat, love the rotocraft going to Titan, should have some interesting results. Mona, I agree. Back to this article. Globally, type 2 diabetes, or T2D, affects 422 million people, with obesity recognized as a significant risk factor. While insulin therapy is commonly used to manage blood sugar levels in type 2 diabetic patients, it can result in side effects such as weight gain and can further complicate diabetes management. And a need, therefore, exists for alternative treatment strategies. Groundbreaking research introduces a promising new treatment approach for type 2 diabetes. This innovative approach, which combines a novel procedure known as RECET, or recellularization via electroporation therapy, with semaglutide, resulted in the elimination of insulin therapy for 86% of patients. And we're not talking mice, we're talking people. The first in-human study included 14 participants aged 28 to 75 years. Each participant underwent the RECET procedure under deep sedation, a treatment intended to improve the body's sensitivity to its own insulin. Following the procedure, participants adhered to a 2-week isocaloric liquid diet, after which semaglutide was gradually titrated up to 1 milligram per week. Remarkably, at the 6 and 12-month follow-ups, 86% of the participants, 12 out of 14 people, no longer required insulin therapy. And this success continued through the 24-month follow-up. 2 years of these people not needing to be on insulin other than what their body was producing. Unlike drug therapy, which requires daily medication adherence, RECET is compliance-free, addressing the critical issue of ongoing patient adherence in the management of type 2 diabetes. In addition, the treatment is disease-modifying. It improves the patient's sensitivity to their own insulin, tackling the root cause of the disease, as opposed to currently available drug therapies that are at best disease-controlling. That is awesome. I love any article that tackles the situation of diabetes and hopefully eradicating it. So to everybody involved in this study and to everybody involved in the production of this therapy and hopefully seeing it forward into the future to help many, many more, cheers. Top off my beer. A full pint of beer takes a little bit to get through. And we're only on Article 7 now. Yeah. Lily, that was my reaction when I read that when I went through that article. That was like, holy crap. So fingers crossed. This next one in Cool Health and Medicine. Do you want the Borg? Because this is how we get the Borg. I feel like recently we've gone through a spat of articles where it's been like, do you want Skynet? This is how you get Skynet. Do you want The Last of Us? This is how you get The Last of Us. Now we have the Borg. Self-assembling and disassembling swarm molecular robots via DNA molecular controller. That's a lot of science words, but what it means is what producer Donna alluded to in the chat earlier, nanites. This was posted in Science Daily by the Tohoku University on June 14th of 2024. Julie in the Facebook chat, resistance is futile. Fantastic. Researchers from Tohoku University and Kyoto University have successfully developed a DNA-based molecular controller that autonomously directs the assembly and disassembly of molecular robots. That is a lot of words. Research on molecular robots, which are designed to aid in disease treatment and diagnosis by functioning both inside and outside of the body, is gaining significant attention. Previous research by Kakugo and colleagues had developed swarm-type molecular robots that move individually. These robots could be assembled and disassembled as a group through external manipulation. But thanks to the constructed molecular controller, the robots can self-assemble and disassemble according to a programmed sequence. Holy crap. Our newly developed molecular controller, composed of artificially designed DNA molecules and enzymes, coexists with molecular robots and controls them by outputting specific DNA molecules, points out Shinichiro M. Nomura, an associate professor at Tohoku University's Graduate School of Engineering and co-author of the study. This allows the molecular robots to self-assemble and disassemble automatically without the need for external manipulation. Such autonomous operation is a crucial advancement as it enables the molecular robots to perform tasks in environments where external signals cannot reach. This advancement may lead to the realization of innovative technologies in nanotechnology to the medical field, as such as nanomachines for in situ molecular recognition and diagnosis or smart drug delivery systems. That is cool. Producer Donna saying that playing with AI in medical research, and there's no chance of bad stuff. Mona in the YouTube, we are replicators. Yes! To everybody at Tohoku University and Kyoto University working on DNA nanomachines, cheers. Y'all are mad scientists. Whew. This is a big beer. I think my cheeks are getting a little rosy from this one. I can feel the warmth in my face. Oh. All right. Power through, Nick. Power through. Be strong. Because this is about to be a wild ride. We are going to get out of cool health and medicine, and we are going to get into cool flora and fauna, aka cool plants and animals. And here comes a lot of viewer submissions in a short period of time with outrageous titles. We called this first one a little bit of a pun, Performing Antutations. And this one was sent in by Mona. Thank you very much, Mona. Ants may be the only animal that perform surgical amputations. This was posted to the journal Science by Humberto Basilio back on July 2nd of 2024. Biologist Eric Frank and his colleagues at the University of Würzburg brought Florida carpenter ants back to their lab in Germany to learn how they respond to injury. Most ant species treat the injured or severed limb of a comrade by coating it with an antimicrobial goo secreted from glands that they possess. The Florida carpenter ant, Camponotus floridanus, lost that gland over evolutionary time. To figure out how the species fends for itself, Frank's team cut the ant's legs at the femur and exposed the wound to Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which is a bacterium commonly found in soil. The team left some of the ants in isolation and returned others to their nest. The ants that returned to the nest were quickly approached by one or two comrades, which gnawed the leg above the femur, amputating it entirely. 90% of the ants that got this surgery survived. In contrast, only 40% of those left alone lived. With a pair of micro scissors, the researchers also injured the ant's legs lower down at the tibia. This time, fellow insects did not amputate the appendages of their injured nestmates. Instead, they simply licked the wound to remove bacteria with their tongues. 90% of the isolated ants died, whereas 75% of those that returned managed to survive. The difference in the tactics employed by bystander ants may lie in the insect's physiology. High-resolution microscopy revealed that the Florida carpenter ant's femur has several muscles that impede circulation of hemolymph, which is the insect version of blood, stopping the bacteria from quickly entering the body. As a result, the ants may be more likely to amputate femur injuries because they have the time needed to perform the procedure. The tibia, in contrast, has fewer muscles to stop hemolymph, making blood circulation quicker and allowing bacteria to enter faster. That means tibia injuries must be treated more quickly. Like their hierarchical social structure, amputation is another one of the surprising ways that ants have evolved sophisticated behaviors. They're not just soldiers who only work for the queen, only to be replaced or discarded at any time. They go to extreme lengths to help one another out. That is absolutely bonkers that a species of ant effectively performs surgery by removing limbs if necessary. So that is really cool. Mona, thank you for sending that in. And in the entomology world, to biologist Eric Frank and his team at the University of Würzburg, who discovered ants perform antutations. Cheers. Okay. The rest of these are about one paragraph. We're calling them microfauna news. But hold on to your butts, because we're about to take a wild ride. All right. What if the movie Anaconda wasn't fiction? This one was sent in by Charlie. Thanks, Charlie. Charlie let us know a new species of anaconda has been discovered in the Amazon, weighing in at 440 pounds and longer than a school bus. Now known as the northern green anaconda, it was discovered by Dutch biologist Professor Freek Vonk from the University of Amsterdam, along with 14 other scientists from 9 countries. They stumbled upon this slithering giant during a National Geographic expedition for the upcoming Disney Plus series Pole to Pole with Will Smith. The huge anaconda was lurking in the shallows, lying in wait for prey, when Vonk and the camera crew encountered it while diving in unspecified waters in the Ecuadorian Amazon. If you go to that link, there is a video of Dr. Vonk swimming with it. It is straight out of the movie Anaconda. In fact, it's about as long as one of the snakes in that film, too, at about 26 feet in length. It is a massive animal, and it is insane. So, Charlie, thanks for that. This next one I called All the Magic of Creation Exists Within a Single Tiny Seed. And that's right, that is a Fern Gully quote. This one was also sent in by Charlie. Charlie also provided an article about a 1,000-year-old seed. In the 1980s, archaeologists unearthed a pristine seed in a cave in the Judean desert. Decades later, Dr. Sarah Salon, founder of the Louis L. Borick Natural Medicine Research Center in Jerusalem, formed a different study team that planted it to see what would happen. Oh, they just didn't ask why. They didn't ask if they should. They just did. To the researchers' surprise, 5 weeks later, up popped a tiny shoot, a fragment of which the scientists were able to date. The seed was a staggering 1,000 years old. Remarkably, the tree thrived and now stands 10 feet tall, although it has never flowered or produced fruit. Using DNA sequencing, the researchers identified the mystery tree as part of the Commiphora genus, but its exact species is unknown and is likely extinct. Commiphora is the most species-rich genus of flowering plants in the frankincense and myrrh family, Burseraceae. That's what it is, Burseraceae. To Charlie for sending that one in, and to Dr. Salon and her team deciding to plant a 1,000-year-old seed and see what happens. Cheers. This next one was sent in by Cassidy. I love this article. You're gonna hate it. From Cassidy, we have a report that the Chester Zoo in England released thousands of giant fen raft spiders. We should have called this one Little Shop of Horrors. That's right, the Chester Zoo in England released thousands of giant fen raft spiders into the United Kingdom 10 years ago, after the species almost became extinct. They announced on their Facebook page in early November that there are now more than 10,000 breeding females, and they've just had the biggest mating season on record. The spiders have an important role in maintaining the rich aquatic diversity found in the grazing ditches on reserves and wetlands. According to Discover Wildlife, fen raft spiders tend to eat other spiders, damselflies, dragonfly larvae, and tadpoles. The spiders are brown and have white or cream stripes along their bodies. Despite their intimidating size, they can grow to be the size of a human hand. They are harmless to humans. Cassidy, thank you so very much. And a big thank you to everybody at the Chester Zoo in England who released thousands of fen raft spiders. Cheers. Absolute goddamn nightmare fuel. Mona, harmless, except for the initial panic when you see one. Rebecca back from the anaconda one. Its head is huge. That's what she said. That I love. Obviously, I love arthropods. I mean, I've got 3 absolutely amazing specimens of scorpions. But man, I've seen fen raft spiders. They are huge. And to think that there are 10,000 of them running around, 10,000 breeding females alone, it's bonkers. That's really cool, though. And good for having that species come back, because they are a very helpful species. But if you thought that bug was big, get ready for this article that Eliza gave us. What had 44 pairs of legs and would have grown, or would have given you nightmares until death? This thing. Thanks to Eliza, we now have 10.5 feet of pure high-octane nightmare fuel. That's right, during the Carboniferous period, Earth's atmospheric oxygen levels surged, helping some plants and animals grow to gigantic proportions. If you thought the dinosaurs were the biggest things, just wait till you see the bugs. One notable example was Arthropleura, the biggest bug ever known, at up to 10.5 feet long, inhabiting what is now North America and Europe. That's right, Arthropleura was a 10.5 foot long millipede. Just a titan. While its fossils have been known since 1854, a large gap has existed in the understanding of this creature because none of the remains had been well preserved. None of the remains had a well-preserved head. The discovery in France of 2 Arthropleura fossils with intact heads has now remedied this, providing the anatomical details needed for scientists to classify it as a huge primitive millipede. The fossils showed Arthropleura's head was roughly circular, with slender antennae, stalk eyes, and mandible-like jaws, which were fixed underneath its head. Arthropleura had 2 sets of feeding appendages. The first were short and round, and the second were elongated and leg-like, which is very similar to what today's millipedes actually possess, so they just became much smaller. The specimens each had 24 body segments and 44 pairs of legs, or 88 legs in total. Based on its mouth parts and a body built for slow locomotion, the researchers concluded Arthropleura was a detritivore like modern millipedes, feeding on decaying plants rather than a predator like centipedes. Now, mind you, there were some big centipedes back then too, but Arthropleura is still the biggest bug we've ever found at 10.5 feet long. Eliza, thank you very much for frightening everybody that watches Nick's News. Cheers. Producer Donna reminding everybody that Arthropleura was big, but was still less than half the length of the snake we talked about. Rebecca wondering how banana spiders compare to raft spiders. They're actually very close to one another. But fen raft spiders look more like wolf spiders, so they tend to have their limbs spread out, whereas a lot of banana spiders are if I remember right, they tend to be like wandering spiders, so they actually tend to look a little bit more crab-like. So very different body shape, but similar size. Julie saying nope, hiding in the blankets, and Rebecca following that up, sleeping with the lights on tonight. Our last cool flora and fauna article I called The Newest Rescue Ranger, AI. An artificial intelligence tool has been trained to tell the difference between gray and red squirrels. The system, called Squirrel Agent, has been trained on thousands of images of the animals, allowing it to tell them apart with 97% accuracy, its developer says. It can then be used to automatically control access to squirrel feeders, with only red squirrels being allowed into those containing food, and only grays into those where food has been replaced with contraceptive paste. Squirrel Agent is currently being tested in sites around the UK in conjunction with 5 wildlife charities. Gray squirrels are largely responsible for the huge decline in the numbers of red squirrels. This is partly because there are so many of them, and also because they can carry a virus, which they have immunity to, but is lethal to red squirrels. In mainland England and Wales, red squirrels are in dire straits, and they will become extinct if we are unable to reverse the trend. So this Squirrel Agent AI basically looks at the face of the squirrel and can tell the difference between a gray squirrel and a red squirrel, and for the red squirrel, it gives it a tasty treat. And for the gray squirrel, it gives it sterilization. Wildly different, solving a problem. So, to everybody working on Squirrel Agent and trying to save the red squirrel, cheers. Rebecca in the Facebook chat, Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. I am feeling that beer, folks. But luckily, we are down to I think, our last 3 articles. Yep, we are down to our last 3 articles of the night. And these 3 are in Cool, Wholesome Notes, category 4, the final category. You all wanted a singing episode. Producer Don and I were talking about this, that a lot of great shows, one of the most recent ones that comes to my memory that I really loved would be like The Magicians. They had a song episode every season. Absolutely loved it. So it was funny where we were going through the titles and we just had a lot of songs and stuff that we were playing off of, and it's like, yeah, this is kind of like the musical episode too for the end of the year. So first cool wholesome note that we've got for tonight: MIT makes an offer few could refuse. MIT to offer free tuition to households with an income below $200,000. This was posted to Mass Live by Juliet Schulman Hall on November 21st of 2024. Rebecca saying, boo, more articles. Donna, red squirrels are so cute. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology will offer free tuition next fall to undergraduate students with household incomes below $200,000. The institution will also cover tuition and housing, dining, fees, and an allowance for books and personal expenses for household incomes that are below $100,000, according to MIT. The additional costs, not including tuition, amounted to close to $24,000 this year at the university. Other institutions, including Brandeis University, the University of Massachusetts, the Worcester State University, the College of the Holy Cross, Anna Maria College in Paxton, and Regis College in Weston have also made free tuition announcements. Competition is part of the reaction, responding to other institutions such as the state's new free community college program. The expansion of the state financial assistance program, Mass Grant Plus, and the delay of the form for federal aid, also known as the Department of Education's Free Application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA, were also reasons, according to college officials. These free tuition offerings will be increases from what is already being offered. Currently, households earning less than $140,000 get free tuition for their students, and households earning less than $75,000 are granted free tuition, fees, housing, and dining, with an allowance for books and personal expenses. As part of the admissions process at MIT, the university doesn't consider applicants' ability to pay as part of the admissions process, which meets the full demonstrated financial need for undergraduates and doesn't provide an advantage to children of alumni or donors, according to the school. So MIT's admission process is entirely based on the merit of the student. How well are you at what you're doing, and how well will you be at MIT? Which is a tough way to get into a college. It really is. But given MIT's background and its history and what students at MIT are shooting for, which is effectively the moon and beyond, it really is competitive. But to offer to incentives like this is crazy and awesome. To MIT for stepping up and offering free tuition to those that get in if you meet certain criteria, basically just helping everybody who wouldn't think they could go to be able to, just on money alone. Cheers. I heard one of the bugs make a noise earlier, but I wasn't quite sure what it was that made the noise. Okay. Mona in Facebook or in YouTube chat, way to go MIT, that's what we need in the world. I agree, Mona. Next article we've got, Tango and Cash, Roger and Martin, Seema and Suman. 2 city cops reunite 104 missing kids with their families in India this year. This was posted to goodnewsnetwork.org, and it was written by Andy Corbley on November 26th of 2024. In India, a pair of police officers have reunited 104 children and minors with their families in just 9 months. The Times of India reports. Head Constables Seema Devi and Suman Huda of Delhi Police Outer North District have been lauded for their accomplishment with the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit, or the ATHU. Their marathon of cases took them across northern India, dealing with bad photographs, reticent locals, unfamiliar locations, and language barriers. Under the banner of Operation Milap, the searches took place between March and November. At times, they've dealt with cases where the child hasn't been seen in years, and outdated photographs have been the officers' only lead, which is when they typically must conduct door-to-door searches with the help of willing locals, even beggars in one instance. At other times, they've relied on the cyber division to track mobile phone locations and walked across wide rural distances in completely unknown locales. During the operation, most of the cases were down to elopement, drug addiction, or insufficient parental care. But through it all, these 2 officers managed to rescue and reunite 104 missing children and minors with their families. And that was just in 9 months. This is like a buddy cop pair to have stories written about for going out and doing this kind of work. So to Constables Seema Devi and Suman Huda for all of your work reuniting these families and getting these children back. Cheers. Last article of the night. I called this one, As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. Which is an infamous quote. Here, but this is a good twist on it. So here we go. Alaskan woman drops Thanksgiving turkeys from plane to help feed off-grid neighbors. This was posted to goodnewsnetwork.org, once again by Andy Corbley, on November 29th of 2024. When she heard that some of her neighbors were eating squirrels for Thanksgiving, a local pilot thought she'd lend a helping wing. Oh. Rebecca saying, yay, great article to end on, but then, oh wait, they can't? Julie saying you did it, they believed they could fly. Turkeys can fly in short bursts. Usually what they do is they'll fly up into a tree to roost for the night, or they'll fly across a short distance to get from point A to point B or get away from a predator. They cannot, however, fly very well if they're dropped out of a helicopter, which was a horrible situation that happened many years ago, and there's terrible YouTube clips of it available. We aren't going to get much more into it here. This one was with Thanksgiving turkeys, frozen birds, not the living variety. So, Esther Sanderlin lives in rural Squentna, Alaska, where flying small single-engine or prop planes is a common mode of personal transportation. Sanderlin grew up occasionally receiving turkeys at her home via airdrop after the roads froze over in late autumn. She combined these wild childhood memories with the news of the squirrel dinner and decided she ought to pay it forward. She doesn't need to attach a parachute to them, as the soft snow below and the frozen flesh of the turkey means that a hard landing is no harm, no foul. Oh my gosh. Speaking to NBC, she said she hopes to turn her turkey drops into a nonprofit in the future so that she can extend her reach to more communities across Alaska. Huge shout out to everyone that helped with this year's turkey bombing. It was a success, and thanks to many, we were able to deliver 36 turkeys to the Yentna and Squentna River area, a post on the page read. And we have a link available to the Facebook page, I believe, for the turkey bombing and for the organization that Esther is trying to start up. I advise, if you have some time, take a look at it and see if it's something that you want to get involved with. I will be signing on to it for sure. So, oh, Mona said WKRP. Mona knows. So, yeah. To Esther Sanderlin for initiating basically Operation Frozen Turkey Drop to get turkeys to families in Alaska for Thanksgiving. Cheers. Whew. Well, that's it. 16 amazing cool news episodes, cool news articles. I mean, we managed to bust it out in an hour. That was something else. And all of these were great. I loved all these articles, especially a lot of the flora and fauna articles that y'all sent in. That was the bulk of it from the viewer submissions, and those were cool articles. So thank you all. Thank you all so much for those. Yeah, I don't have much else. That was a great one. We're going to be back to our regular style episodes, our good news episodes. Our next episode is going to be on December 8th, 2024 at our normal time of 9 p.m. And like I said, we will be back to a regular Nick's News. I believe the episodes that are going to be for the 8th and the 15th are going to be regular episodes, and then following that, our episode on the 22nd is going to be a follow-up. Yeah, if I remember right, the 22nd is a follow-up where we're going to do just articles that are follow-ups or just follow-up news to a lot of the articles we've had throughout the year. And then the 29th is going to be the year in review, where we basically take a look back at the good news of 2024. Because we want to end the year on what that good news was and how important it is to hold on to that kind of stuff so that we can go into 2025, ready for more good news and just kicking things off with good news. So that's the goal. Rebecca in the Facebook chat, thank you for the nightmare fuel. Rebecca, you can thank Charlie for the giant snake and Eliza for the gigantic millipede. Definitely. Oh, and you can thank Cassidy for the giant spiders. So all three of them hit us with some nightmare fuel. Mona in the YouTube chat, happy holidays, everybody. Indeed. If you are in the Michigan area, specifically the West Michigan area, get ready. We might have some big snowstorms rolling in tonight into tomorrow. But yeah, other than that, getting back into our regularly scheduled outro. I thank you all again for tuning in or catching the replay on the Knicks News Facebook page or the YouTube page. We're live every Sunday. Next episode will be a regular Good News episode on December 8th of 2024. I encourage participation, so if you feel inclined, you can message us or post suggestions for news brews, for shout-outs, for news quotes, and especially for good news articles that we can debut on future episodes. If possible, I always appreciate a variety of articles that are spread out across our 4 categories, and those categories, again, are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the really good stuff we like to end on, which are just good reminders of the goodness of people and the goodness of the world around us. So you can either message us on Facebook or email us at somebudgetstudios@gmail.com. If you message us on Facebook, please direct your messages to the Knicks News Facebook page's messenger. That's where I keep them all saved so the whole group can look at them and go through them. My whole team can go through articles and go through submissions. Yeah. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment on our Facebook and YouTube videos to get good news into the algorithm. We're still trying to figure it out, and I'm not going to tell you to do anything. I will politely ask, though, hey, if you really like what you heard, what you saw, by all means, drop a like, subscribe, or comment. All of that gets into the algorithm, and we're still trying to figure that out. We're just 4 followers away on the Facebook page from hitting 200 followers. I'd love to get to that by the end of the year. No rush, no biggie, but it is really cool to see how many people we've gathered, and we're not even doing any advertising outside of word of mouth, so that is something we're going to look into next year. But right now it's just pretty much thank you all for everything, and if you've got folks you know that might be interested in this, let them know and we'll see if they swing by. That's about it. As always, thank you all again. I love you all. Have a great night, and I will play us out.